Andy, charity support, because this is a huge piece that you're doing. I mean, yes, you're running as a tour company, and we'll come on to MSG and why you partner them. But most of what you do actually is about making the money to support the charities. Tell us about the charities, brother.
So, and this is where I come back to one of your earlier things where you like bow down. Go on, Mark Gardner. It's spot on. He came up with the concept and this vision where he said it's not always about trying to like raise money for yourselves. You know, you can help less fortunate people out. So let's take a cut in anything that we're ever trying to make ourselves. Let's make a difference elsewhere. And he came up with the idea of let's raise R1 million and support some proper grassroots charities from the local community. And then obviously partnered with us. It was great that he said, along with R1 million, is that I'll have to throw in there that there's got to be a military spin to that as well, which is Royal British Legion becomes a very obvious choice for us. But you know, with the careers that we had, as we said, there's over 130. I think we added before 140 something years between us, and I'll be able to look after you from day one to your final days through various concepts. So that became the obvious military choice for us. And then from there, in discussion with Mark and with the recce's that have gone on over in South Africa, there came to be the Pink Drive. I think that it's rare to find somebody who's not been touched with a family or friend that's had some form of sadness with cancer. And they primarily, Pink Drive, that they do a mobile going around screening and testing and educating some places that are hard to get to for testicular, cervical and breast cancer. A friend of ours who's an ex-army PTI who'd moved to South Africa 18 years ago or so, he noticed that South Africa had dropped physical education away from their school curriculum. And as a very fit guy himself, Darren Clark, he said, you know, this is not right. And he convinced a couple of locals with him and they created the Good Sport Trust. And what started with him and two local guys teaching school children, getting them back into doing physical education, within the space of 3 years, had transformed into 21 of them teaching over 10,000 kids. You know, so they had a really fast and quick impact. And from there, they've had some major successes of people who've gone on, never ever would have played rugby, started, got to a good level, and have gone to club and provincial level as well. So that was a great one. And then the recent one, which was, you know, I was amazed that Mark was able to pull it off and bring it on board, but the Beast Foundation. So I'm not going to say the surname because I'll just make myself look a fool. But Tendai there, who's there in your picture, you know, who destroyed the Lions almost single-handedly in that first test back in 2009. His foundation is very much similar to what that of Darren's and the Good Sport Trust, but the Beast Foundation is about taking underprivileged children, giving them the opportunity to play sport and to play rugby. And I mean, can you get a better role model to aspire to be than the Beast? The barriers he fought through himself. I mean, you look at 2009. Would that Lions tour, would we have lost 2-1 if the Bees, who moments before, you know, within weeks leading up to that, was almost not going to play for South Africa? But anyway, we've also got Scrum. So we've got the Scrum Foundation, and their tagline is "Pass the ball, not the virus." So they're based out of Eswatini, and Eswatini's got like 28% of its population are HIV positive. So this is about educating people from such a young age that, you know, there is ways to stop this disease, but if you can teach them at a young enough age, and they do that through rugby and the mantra of rugby and the core values of respect, discipline, passion, solidarity, so on. And finally, we've got, I think I've named 5. Yes, I think we've got the Little Rose Centre in Soweto, and that's like a one-stop shop for as a creche. It houses young kids who have become orphans. It feeds them. And I think they feed something around 140, 150 kids a day who would go without meals if they didn't have that support. And then they've got the mama there who does like handcrafts and teach them how to make things locally that they can then sell and become self-sufficient. So I think there's a common theme throughout 5 of the local charities, and that's about getting into educating kids at an early age, which may improve their lives as it becomes later on through the stages of life. But yeah, so Mark's idea, the 1 million rand concept, absolutely over the moon to be part of this, and I'm looking forward to what we can do about how we're going to raise this money and handing it over and seeing how it's used.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, and thank you for covering all that, because what does come out of it, yeah, the Legion comes out of your own one, because Mark wants to be close to our own heart, and that's fab for the work that they do. But the small charities, it's an extension of you going into, it's small teams, it's going into the local small clubs, it's putting money into the local environment. It's the whole thing. Again, it ticks another box for me. But my mantra of local then global, where you can, and you're doing that. And when I went in and looked at those charities, so I could tag, it was important I wanted to tag them into the post for the show, so that people could go and have a look at them, lads and girls who are watching tonight. Go into just take a couple of seconds. There's a Facebook page. It might only have, there's a couple of hundred followers or whatever. Go in and like and follow them, what they're doing. Pick one that you can choose and be part of their journey with the lads as well, because I think that's really freaking important, that somebody at a distance away is thinking about them. Put a little message on their Facebook page, lads. Just tell them that you saw the Lions in Pink show, and that you're thinking about them, and just send them a goodwill. Maybe you don't have to send them any money, even just a nice goodwill message, I think will go an awful long way.